Well, hey, good Thursday evening to you here, or whenever you do happen to be catching this. This is the 2026 Channel CropCast, August 20th edition, and I am Tyler Brigdenhill here in South Central Nebraska, technical agronomist for the Channel brand. Hard to believe we're already to August 20th, but as we always do, let's start in on a weather and growing degree update. So, looking at Grand Island this week, running about 110 growing degree units ahead of schedule or a 30-year pace for an April 30th plant date. And then similarly, if we look at the precipitation ranks by climate district here for again an April 30th plant date, we're showing about for South Central Nebraska about the 40th wettest spring, which um, if you cut the data month by month, that just slowly starts to increase as we've seen here in the growing season. Our precipitation chances just getting a little bit better and better. Some areas increasing odds much more than others for sure, but in any case, uh, definitely had some of those increased chances. And then if you look at the extended forecast for us, um, getting some chances of precip every day, but also climbing those temperatures in the daytime a little bit higher, but still, mid to low 60s for nighttime temps. So, liking what we're seeing for Phil. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is the amount of cloud cover that we're seeing. Just continue to keep that sun shining. We need all the heat units we can get to really, push this crop across the finish line. So, that being said, when we think about the corn yield world, a lot of plot walking and field days going on this time of year, which we love as agronomists and field sales representatives. So we look forward to seeing you if we haven't already at a customer event. But what's going on in the cornfields? Well, I mean we're anywhere from dough to dent. Most everything that I have checked is basically at dent. So that's varying degrees of starch line development and progression at this point. From a fertility standpoint, we've pretty much lost that last really big push at R4 for, specifically potassium and sulfur. And then we see a little bit more of a curve for nitrogen push here at the end. So, likely all that nitrogen that we have or have needed to apply is likely on at this point. Most of this is going to get taken up through mineralization and just soil solution itself. So, really good way to finish out the year, but that is also one of those reasons you start to see that senescing of those lower leaves. Now we are 100% focused on how many of those kernels can we get to fill and keep as a viable embryo to pass on our genetic material to the next generation. But for us, we're more concerned about, hey, how can I pack the most weight and dimension in each one of those kernels to sell the most weight when it hits the grain tank, right? So there's a couple ways we do that. Obviously, one, we've been in a battle royale for a couple of months now between both insects and diseases. I still start to see a little bit of resurgence in tar spot moving up the canopy. Likely going to see that for some subsequent weeks here because we have had some really nice developmental weather, not only from a moisture standpoint, but also just from a temperature standpoint. And again, this does have a little bit of latency in terms of waiting in the plant before it actually erupts through the leaves. So, likely to see that canopy continue to get a little bit dirtier in the next week here because we've had some good developmental weather because of it. Southern rust, I can find it, I would say, just between the two diseases we've already talked about in tar spot and southern rust. The canopy that I am seeing today compared to the last 2 years and where we've been at April 20th, August 20th, rather, night and day difference. So much cleaner. Have a lot of confidence in the amount of solar panels that we have left out there to be able to fill this crop out. So, similarly in the insect world, it's not unfortunately not hard to find western bean cutworm and some corn earworm out there, but the reality is we've got a couple traits out there specifically with Tricepta in both our Tricepta traded products and then our VT4 products that are holding off those pests really nicely. So make sure to bring that up at a customer day. The other piece that we still have really good control of in some cases if we're under irrigation is water use. Looking, how much irrigation do I need to still apply? How much stress can I afford to take, or how much yield could I lose per day if I do end up stressing that crop? Now, we've been blessed here in South Central Nebraska specifically that we've been able to turn pivots off and give them a breather. Just make sure we're keeping up on that water profile and that soil solution, specifically that we're not giving up on that crop way too early. We've got it this far. Don't jog across the finish line. Let's sprint across, finish the race strong. So I would say the exact same thing in soybeans. We're in a really critical period right now still. Seed filling is being a really really big piece of this. So we're setting seed size now. Not too distant future, we're going to really start adding weight onto this, and how much weight retention is going to be directly influenced by, hey, how much water were we able to give this crop at the end, whether it was supplied by us or by Mother Nature. I'd love it if it's by Mother Nature. Keep that spigot on any which way we can. So, as always, make every acre count. Hope to see you at a customer event. Last thing I'm going to ask for those folks that are tuning in, I would just ask, find a way to reach out to me either by text message or email or on Twitter directly. What is one thing you've liked about these videos, and one thing that you would like to see maybe for this next growing season or in the coming weeks? So, little homework assignment this week. As always, make every acre count, and we'll catch you next week.